Hey, Brian from Rechargeable Hall. Today I had this backup camera system. More importantly, this thing is wireless. So it's got a little antenna we're going to find in here. That is a magnet base here. And I've already tried out. It is very strong. So it's not going to be bouncing off your trailer or my application. I'm probably going to use one on my trailer and I'm going to use one on my tractor. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to mount it on the front by the bucket so I get a nice cool bucket view. But my trailer is 22 feet long and it has a, it's long. Let's just say that. And then I have my Ram 1500, which we're on the tailgate of right here. So this is a crew cab with a 6-foot bed. I think it's 5.7 inches of what it is. So we're gonna see how this wireless system works. Basically close to like 30 feet away is basically what it's gonna be working parameter wise. It is solar, so this camera does always stay pretty well charged when it's outdoors. This is basically your power button here. You can also charge it through a Type-C port here if you needed to, but we're going to keep it outside, hooked up, solar powered, and it's kind of hard to see because it is so bright out here. But when that solar panel is getting some light to it, this will light up red, that little indicator there, when it's getting some solar juice. When it's full, I believe that indicator light will turn green, and then these are like, I guess, for like antenna signal and everything else. Anyway, let me go put this into the sun a little bit more so this gets a real good charge on it, and then we'll show you the rest. Okay, so this is the instruction manual. So we'll go through that. So there's a couple different pieces to this. So they do say it is paired from the factory, so that will be a good thing. Then this is all the other little, and again, you read through this whole thing. There's a lot of information in here, more than I'm going to be able to cover here, but just kind of give you some ideas of that. And then let's open this up. So this is going to be your display, and then it has that power cord attachment. So this is where you attach the brackets, and then on the back this is where you connect the antennas, and then that will slide onto like another base or mounting bracket, I assume. Haven't gotten that far, but so here's some adhesive for the mounting bracket, I assume, and then this is all the little stuff that we get inside here. So let's get this into frame. So that's going to be kind of like a sunblock, so you can get the most viewing out of that. And this is going to be your mounting bracket. And I'm not going to permanently mount it to anything as of yet, because I'm going to be kind of like sizing stuff up, see where it fits, see what's going to work. So this is looks like this is a windshield mount. So this is pretty cool to take a close look at. So that gives you another mounting option. And then this looks like all the stuff that comes in it, the kit. So you get all your antennas. So this looks like for the inside. That looks like for the camera. So let's get that back in the frame and see how that mounts. So I take that little screw out, and then basically kind of getting this situated. And it does have a little swivel piece on here. Kind of tighten that down. So basically I'm just kind of like using that as a little leverage, where you can spin it around like this and then just get it tighten into position where you need it. And I think that's a set screw there. Then we can set that up. And then tighten that into place. But that will kind of swivel around for you so you can have it set up in the most advantageous spot. Again, let's put this back out in the sun. Then this is your display. Again, we'll get both these antennas mounted on here. Okay. And then we'll just swivel them around. And again, get the most signal from that. And then this thing's pretty cool. So you can mount it to a windshield using that little slide thing, or you can mount it onto a bracket so it stays kind of flat, or you can adjust it to however you need. Not sure what we're going to do, but I'm going to try to find the bolts there to kind of get everything going. Oh, here is a charging block that you can use to charge stuff up with. And then you get two types power cords, one for your USB or one for your power outlet. Back in my days, they were called cigarette charge ports, but. And then an extra wire to charge the camera with to get that up. And then it looks like these are some of the mounting bolts that we're going to be using to mount it to that frame. So let's get that going. But other than that, I think we're just going to get the camera up and running with the mount, and then we'll see how it works. So pretty easy setup so far. Okay, so that is the camera mounted on the back of my 22-foot trailer. Let's disconnect that little lens protector. I'm going to turn this on. So that should be on now. So let's go connect the base up. So that is the trailer. So you can see it's rather on the long side. And that is primarily because I haul this 474 tractor on. Okay, so there's the trailer. Here's the truck. So we're going to mount it in the cab here. Okay, so this is not where I'm going to mount it, but I have a always-on power port here. So I don't even have to start the truck up. So let's see what that does. So it says no signal. And boom, instantly hooks up. And that is a rear view. And just give you kind of an idea. And again, this all depends on how you're going to mount it. But it'll tell you the battery life that it has. And again, you can kind of even, I'll put these antennas down out of the way. And you can still tell it works really well. And so it's not even hooked up. And that's how fantastic the signal is. So, I mean, even if you had like, I don't know, 30-foot trailer or something even longer, or if you had a trailer that was enclosed, you know that the signal is strong enough for that to work. And this is all the way back here. So yeah, that's that camera. And then you can see how clear of a view it has of the back of the property. So yeah, that's absolutely amazing. Let's go back. And again, there you go. Now I just have to figure out exactly where we're going to mount that, but what a fantastic image. Oh, and this is that shroud. Clicks on pretty good. That's how the bolts go in. So that works really well. Anyway, Brian from Rechargeable. Thanks for watching and be safe out there. Okay, so in the tractor, so it's a little loud, but I have this monitor mounted here, and I got kind of some glare, but anyway, I have it on the front. I'll show you in a second. But the coolest thing is, so when I'm operating, I have a bird's eye view, and actually you can see the camera right there on the front of the bucket. So any way that I move that bucket, I get a really good view of going into material, going into rock, dirt, wherever I'm at. I got a really good view, and again, now I gotta face it up towards the sky so I can really see exactly what's going on. And I'm gonna change the view in a second. So again, controlling this, and you kind of see, let me get some like glare out, but you can kind of see how that bucket's performing. I mean, that's absolutely awesome. So let me go out. And now I got a level. I'm going to move that onto a different part so we can really see what's going on with that. Okay, so I mounted the camera on the front bracket, and this is giving me the view. I'm going to try to get some of the glare out. But now, when I move my bucket around, I can see exactly what's going on. And it gives me kind of more of a bird's eye view of the bucket than I have from the cab. So that kind of like disappears on me. But I can see a lot more what's right in front going on with the bucket. So if I'm lining up for some work, so you can kind of see the background, I'm kind of changing in the back. I'm going to lift it all the way up. So you can kind of see how, so that's there, but I still have kind of a view in front, especially when it comes time to moving stuff around the yard. I can arrange it so I can set up the hitch. Sorry about the glare today. So I have that trailer hitch on the front that I use to line up my trailer, moving around the yard and stuff. So I have a really good view of that. And then when I'm trying to line that ball up to the front there, it makes things a heck of a lot easier lining up. And again, that is where the camera is sitting. So some really cool versatility I have, and since it's magnetic, I can move it into any position I want it to, and yeah, so that makes that really easy. So I can do a lot of hooking up different implements, trailers, and then getting all that done. So let me give you an outside view. Alright, so this kind of gives you an idea. So I can get really close up to that tree. So here it looks like I'm actually hitting it. But here I got still a couple more inches. And I can put the bucket down and see, like, I know I can get even closer because I have a lot of stone from winter that kind of washed away. So that gives you a pretty good idea. And as I back out, it'll float on, and then I can see exactly where I'm moving all the material and see what kind of lines I'm making. So yeah, I mean, this thing is absolutely invaluable. And I can switch around. I can put it into my truck, watch my trailer, put on my buckets, see what the bucket's going on, and all that fun stuff. But yeah, absolutely awesome. So again, that is my hitch. That's the camera right there. Very cool. And I don't even have it mounted on all the way. And I mean, like, that is not going to come off. That is dead solid on there. Super strong magnet. And then now I can keep an eye on when I'm hooking the trailer up. Super easy. Again, kind of redundant. I keep going over everything, but I absolutely love the versatility of this camera system. Anyway, Brian from Rechargeable. Thanks for watching, and be safe out there.